Hey everybody, I'm Allie, and this is my YNR chat vlog for Sunday, June 7th. This has been a great week for Sharon and Nick fans, but a sad and stormy week for Phyllis and Nick fans. Gosh, you guys, I can't even believe that this is happening. Phyllis and Nick are over. It's over. I can't even believe it. Phyllis's reaction was so empty and exhausted. She actually looked Nick right in the face during their final fight, and she just said, "I don't even have any tears left. And even if I did, I wouldn't waste them on you." What a great line. That was such a great moment, and in so many ways it sums up exactly how I feel about the situation, because I've just gotten so tired of watching Phyllis and Jack struggle and scheme and scramble to try to hold on to these relationships that aren't working. As much as I like Phyllis and Nick, love Phyllis and Nick together, it just wasn't working. And Sharon and Jack just never had a chemistry that I could see. And so it was just, it was a weird feeling of just almost acceptance from me too. Just, okay, if Sharon and Nick are going to be together, let's just let them be together, because I think that there's only so long that you can want someone who doesn't want you back. And it was becoming increasingly clear, I think, from the moment that Sharon and Nick slept together at the cabin a few months back. It was just clear that they were on the path to getting back together, and that there was nothing that was going to stop it. Everything else was, I think, just delaying the inevitable. And Phyllis, made the point to Nick about the fact that she felt that she had bought into the fantasy that she and Nick could actually be a happy family, and I feel that too. I feel like I was bought into that fantasy and it just didn't work out. And Phyllis also pointed out that Sharon wanted to be with Nick, but she obviously just didn't want to be responsible, quote unquote responsible, for breaking up their marriage, even though she totally was. And it was, I thought, a really good thing for Phyllis to bring up, and for Nick to actually admit that that's what's happening. So Nick left Phyllis so that Sharon wouldn't have to feel guilty about them getting together. So yeah, it's just, it's sad. It's pretty sad, I have to say. I think I will get there and I will enjoy Nick and Sharon being together, but it's just such a shock almost that it's actually finally over. And the final, I guess, poignant moment in the Phyllis and Nick relationship that The Young and the Restless represented and showed us so well was when Nick left Phyllis. He walked out the door closed shut behind him, and just as it did, the power went out in their house, leaving Phyllis standing there in the dark. But no one was in the dark and alone for too long, because Nick went to the club. Just so happened that Sharon was walking by his room with the door open. At the same time, she strolls on in. They have a conversation, and Nick pretty much lays it on the line. He's left Phyllis. He wants to be with Sharon. It takes Sharon about 5 minutes of protesting, and next thing you know, Nick and Sharon are having sex. Sex. While Nick still has his wedding ring on. Again, for the 3rd time, right? But at the same time, Phyllis and Jack are sitting on the couch, consoling each other over a few glasses of wine, and then out of nowhere, sex happens. Sex just happens. I kind of liked it. I kind of liked it, because Phyllis, I think, has been the only woman that I have really felt was a good match for Jack. So I was okay with it. I feel like they actually could be a good couple again. I don't see them running back into each other's arms and having a relationship anytime soon. It wouldn't be right anyway. But we we also know that there's still some question about Summer's paternity out there. When Nick found out the DNA results for Summer, he didn't share them with anyone. We didn't ever actually see them. So there was always kind of this cloud of suspicion around Summer's paternity. So I think that it is possible that Jack is Summer's father, and it is possible that Phyllis and Jack could maybe start their own family together, giving Jack the child that he's always wanted for so long. And I personally think that Sharon's baby will be Nick's, so it looks like we're headed in that direction. Or Mary Jane Benson could just murder Jack and Phyllis and Sharon all at the same time. You never know. So now we've pretty much learned beyond a shadow of a doubt that Mary Jane Benson is really Patty Williams. I have to clarify and say that I actually really like the scenes with Mary Jane and her cat. I think it's really funny that she's just sitting there petting the cat and looking all evil. It's a nice visual effect, and I'm sure that the owners of the athletic club just love that she has that cat there, probably peeing all over everything. But whatever, it's comedic gold. My knowledge of the Patty Williams storyline, that classic storyline, is fairly limited. I did not watch the show back then, but I know that she's pretty much obsessed with Jack, and not a whole lot has changed. Victor basically plucked her out of obscurity, gave her a whole new face, a whole new persona, brought her to Genoa City to seduce Jack. For what purpose? I don't even know how that would help Victor in any way. But then Victor just casts her aside as he's done with her after he's used as much as he can of her. Very classic Victor Newman. Totally pathetic, though, the way she threw herself at him, the way as he was leaving her hotel room telling her he was done with her, just threw herself at him. It was really actually kind of sad. But she is desperate. She's desperate, more desperate than ever, and possibly even dangerous. I mean, we saw downstairs at the athletic club that she had no problem confronting Sharon in front of everyone, and in fact she grabbed her arm kind of hard. So, I mean, we know that she's not afraid to get physical, and there's definitely no love lost there. So, I don't know, I think she might potentially be actually physically dangerous. She might actually end up just taking everything out on Jack, because I saw from the preview of Monday's show that somehow Mary Jane gets Jack into a position where he's laying down on the bed. She's got him blindfolded and she's standing over him with scissors. I don't know exactly how that is going to happen, but we'll see. I don't know. I think Jack could be in some trouble. The only real way that we're going to see anything good come out of the Mary Jane Benson storyline is that if Paul can soften her up and get to know her and reconnect with her as his sister before she does something terrible. Or maybe the fabulous threesome of Jill, Jeff, and Gloria will somehow stumble in upon that storyline and save the day. I love them. I love these three people together. The chemistry is amazing. I loved that they staged that fight in front of Victor, and we found out only later that it was staged. It was such a fun and cool surprise. They all went back to the penthouse after that, celebrated with a glass of champagne, and toasted on it. They are just so much fun together. It's a great dynamic with Gloria and Jill at each other's throats, and then Jeff in the middle enjoying every single minute of it. I just love it, and it reminds me of the Carol Burnett, Tim Curry, Bernadette Peters trio in the 1982 musical movie version of Annie. There's so many parallels. I could just talk about it all day. But Carol Burnett is so crotchety like Jill, and then Tim Curry is Jeff, and then Bernadette Peters is just like Gloria, the kind of dumb blonde, and all of them are just kind of working together in order to get this money. That's a fabulous, fabulous movie. There's a fabulous musical number that I just keep expecting Jill and Jeff and Gloria to break out into a musical number, and I'm gonna post the link to that scene from Annie, and I'm gonna put it in the sidebar description of this video because you need to see it. It's Jeff and Gloria and Jill, I am telling you. So I'm gonna post that. Definitely check it out. But anyway, Jeff has no money for housing or anything else, but he has the money to hire someone to tail Mary Jane and investigate Victor, but anyway, who knows. But now that I think Mary Jane feels tossed aside by Victor, I'm wondering if she'll be ready to kind of give up the goods on him and maybe kind of get involved and give all of the dirty details to the fabulous threesome soon. We will have to see about that. Oh, YouTube and your 10-minute time limits. So inconvenient because I could just talk for a full hour about Y&R without interruption. But alas, that is not the case. I am probably about to the 10 minutes right now, so I am going to post a follow-up video with tons more to say. So after this video is done, check back and there will be another, and I will see you then.